Representative Perry, I understand that are you in the Rio Grande Valley now, taking a look at border operations? Tell us about it. What did you see? What did you learn from
Well,
state officials?
I guess I'd sum it up this way. I'm encouraged that the things that Texas is employing are effective and they're having effect and deterrent. But ultimately, I'm disappointed that this is still not the long-term solution to what we've got going on the border. But to our men and women down there and to the coordinating effort and border control included, there's about 20 agencies coordinating this. We sat in on a briefing. They are communicating well. And the underlying theme here is, even on the federal guys, they basically said, we're doing what we're supposed to do to protect our borders down here, regardless of what Washington's not willing to do. So it's encouraging to see the communication lines open between federal and state agencies, and local agencies for that matter, handling a really tough problem. The numbers are down from where they were, so first inclination is we're having a real effect on deterring people from coming in, which is the right thing to do. These border checkpoints that are 20 miles into the interior, a border patroller manning, there's 300 people there we could release and get them onto the front lines. That's kind of an admission of defeat by the time they get to the checkoff point. It's kind of after the fact. We've got to keep these guys from getting on Highway 83 and some of those things. So, we're doing some good things, but here's what I'm going to say. The numbers are down, and I think it's partly because of the efforts employed, but everybody's familiar with the Beast if you've been down in this area. It's a massive train, loads up people on top of the train on the outside, inside. Well, it was derailed, and it's not expected to be back in action for several weeks, and it's been down for a couple weeks. So my hesitation is I think our efforts are doing really well, but if that thing gets going again, I'm not so sure we're not going to have, what we've had the last month.
Representative, if numbers are down massively, 75%, it's still a massive problem.
Be clear about the federal's position on this. They want nothing to do with closing down the border or making it a deterrent. They're all about the humanitarian effort, and I was in conversations with a federal representative the other day, not ours, but a different one. And I just had him admit to me that these people are going to end up in our public school systems here in about 2 to 4 weeks, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it.
Big story today in the Texas press about that. As a matter of fact, I think the Texas Tribune, principals and teachers, everybody expecting to have all these kids enroll in districts where they've piled them into the district. They may not have the teachers. They may not have the class space because the feds are not piecing these people out, 1 or 2 in a town. They're bringing basically a classroom to sometimes a whole school full, numbers. And how do you handle that? There's no tax base to support them.
Well, you don't. 50,000 kids in the public school system in Texas is $12,000 per kid to the cost of the taxpayer, state and local. That's $600 million. Now, the disturbing response is they won't all be in Texas, so that tells me that we're dispersing people that we really don't know what they're about or who they're about across this country. I will give you a good example. Last night, a Border Patrol agent was killed off duty fishing with his dad, and the guy that did it was a third-time reporter